Sex, porn, love addiction is all about self-soothing to manage your emotions. It got set up back in the childhood development years. It's just not about sex. It's not about porn. It's all about the repeated use has set up the physiology to crave those dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, self-manufactured drugs in the body. It's impacting women, men, children aged 10 to 75 across all the age ranges, the sexes, the cultures, the professions. It increased exponentially during COVID lockdown and impacting so many lives. The Kairos Center has created the first online comprehensive sex, porn, love addiction. It's a video on demand recovery program which you can access from anywhere in the world and begin to see identifiable changes just within 6 weeks of beginning this weekly program. Kairos means your appointed time. Isn't it your time to reclaim your life? Bring color back to life without shame. Click the link below and begin your journey. You owe it to yourself and to others. The two coming together as one, and that oneness can be scary for some people. I do understand that. We don't want to lose ourselves and our identity, is what some people might feel. But as the two of you come together, a lot of things are not going to click readily in place to give you the harmony that you seek. Someone has said, his name is Creflo Dollar, marriage is the place of our healing. Don't leave it too quickly. And of course, that very much does apply in a partnership relationship, in the sense that that commitment to another person is the place where they now become a mirror that's reflecting back our stuff at us. You could almost call it shadow boxing, because we're boxing with ourselves, but it looks like that real person. Where's the pain? Why do you do things like that? Why don't you, and of course all those terminologies is really to say, I know the right way to do this, why don't you do it my way? And that's us trying to change the other person. What I was doing there is setting up the scene for when you move past puberty, all those experiences, in a sense. The way I often view that is, it's like the developing child has a rucksack on their back, and all those experiences and the way of coping with those experiences are tools that are going into the rucksack of life. And by puberty, that rucksack, the drawstring is going to close, and all the tools that have gone into that rucksack as tools for managing life are going to now play out throughout adulthood, with some tinkering with, but some of them may need wholesale changing, shifting, getting rid of. And that's what I'm seeking to do, to help you to look at which of those scripts, family scripts, like batons that was handed to you in the relay race, which you have no option but to take the baton and run with the family script. But you're in a new relationship, and maybe that script from that family doesn't work in this new relationship, and you need to think about change. But only you can determine that change. And so enter the scene in pinches and crunches, starting right at the top. We now have in this diagram a template of all couple relationships. It's a template, it's a roadmap. My marriage looks like this, your marriage, your partnered relationship looks like this, the Smiths and the Jones up the road from you, down the road from you looks like this. It's a matter of where on this template are we? So if we start at the top, there's you, there's your partner, and those words that you're reading, needs, fears, talents, assumptions, are just some of the experiences which you have been through, which is in here. We put them in the tummy, but thousands and thousands of experiences that you're carrying as experiences here, and are going to be played out in adulthood in this partnered relationship. As you go on down, it doesn't feel very romantic, it doesn't sound very romantic as the couple start to go out with each other, courting, the old-fashioned term, excuse me for the old-fashioned term. You've pulled, even that one's a bit yesteryear. But you know the terminology. We're an item. You start to go out with each other. You're sharing information. Very clinical, isn't it? It doesn't have much romance about it. But actually, that is what you're doing as you're talking. And boy, can we talk for hours together and on the phone. You're actually seeing if there are those common, similar experiences that causes us to stay together, to want to be together, to be a lifetime partner. You're negotiating expectations. I often joke, if one of you says, I'm really looking forward to the 7 children that we're going to have. Did I hear 7? Oh, are you going to have some dessert? No, I'll pass on the dessert, thank you. But it's a lovely seeing you. You take care, bye. Unless those 7 children are negotiable, there may be an exit. And can you see the exit going to the left on the document? The breaking off? That's the nature of courtship. We come together, we go out with, and we're trying to see if you have all of the things that I am looking for in a lifetime partner. And the other person's asking the same. And if at some point in the going out and talking, negotiating, sharing information, there is a point where you recognize you don't have all of the things I'm looking for, and I think you don't have all the things, there's a breaking off. Let's go on down. The couple stay together, they're still getting to know. At some point, of course, what they're doing is clarifying roles in their conversations. Because after a period of clarifying roles, they reach a point where they make a commitment. For some people, the commitment is we move in together. And what that is saying is, for most relationships, of course, where it's not an open relationship, it is a commitment that says you're no longer available to others. You're exclusively mine and for me. For others, that commitment takes the form of a marriage. You are exclusively mine. And for a period of time, as we go on down, there's stability. Now, stability is relative. And I do recognize that in the early days of courtship, there will be some lack of stability at times. The stability comes from the fact that we tend to be on our best behavior, don't we, in the early days of courtship. Now, you'll have to forgive me because sometimes it feels a little bit uncouth and I say, look, we don't pass wind in front of the other person too quickly because we don't want to be sacked. But when we've got them, it's okay to wear that item of clothing with stains on it and such, because we got them. And we relax into the relationship. We're not quite as giving or forgiving. And so, after a period of stability, we experience a pinch or pinches. I know the pinches can be happening in the early courtship as well. Absolutely. But let's think about a pinch at a time where we're not quite as forgiving. It's years into the relationship. What's a pinch? I often hold my hands up like this and I go nip, nip, nip. Would you agree with me? If you use your fingernails to just squeeze a piece of skin and nip, actually that hurts. It sends a jolt through our brain that tells the brain that was pain. I didn't like that. You've got to decide what a pinch looks like for you. What are the things in your relationship that pinched you, a jolt that I didn't like that wasn't nice? Send me a message. It's time to get your relationship back onto a better footing for your future. Let's do some work without shame and bring colour back to life. Send the email, send the message to me, Gary McFarlane, at the Kairos Centre, and let's begin to reclaim your quality of life.